The pilot is instrument rated and current. He's flying a normally aspirated single-engine piston aircraft on a mid-afternoon cross-country. The airplane is well maintained. Fuel planning was conservative. The destination has multiple nearby alternates. The weather picture isn't dynamic, but it is uneven. A broad area of marginal VFR sits between the aircraft and the destination, while conditions to the south are noticeably better. There's no urgency to arrive, but there is an expectation that the flight will continue as planned. That kind of pressure is easy to underestimate. About an hour into the flight, the picture sharpens. Ceilings ahead are lower than forecast, but still legal. The alternates near the destination remain usable, though they're trending downward. To the south, the weather is clearly better, with higher ceilings and more flexibility. Nothing here is unsafe. Nothing requires an immediate change. But the flight is approaching a point where choosing not to decide becomes its own decision. At this stage, the pilot isn't asking what's allowed. He's comparing what each option costs. Option 1 is to continue direct. Continuing keeps the flight simple. Fuel remains adequate. With an instrument rating, an arrival remains well within capability, but continuing commits the aircraft to the lowest ceilings of the route. Any deterioration later would compress options near the destination when workload is already higher. This option minimizes distance, but concentrates risk late in the flight. Option 2 is to deviate south and take the long way around. That adds time and fuel burn. It delays arrival and complicates the plan, but it places the aircraft in better weather with higher ceilings and more flexibility en route. This option reduces environmental risk at the cost of efficiency and convenience. Option 3 is to divert early and stop. That ends the flight sooner than planned and creates logistical inconvenience, but it avoids committing to a weather system that's trending worse, not better. This option preserves margin by removing time pressure entirely. A fourth option exists, even if it isn't stated out loud. Continue for now and reevaluate later. It feels reasonable. Conditions are still acceptable, but it spends fuel and distance without improving the quality of the decision. It feels neutral, but quietly reduces flexibility. None of these options are unsafe. None are unreasonable. The decision isn't about legality or skill. It's about where flexibility is lost. The pilot recognizes the constraint. The airplane has range. The pilot has capability. The weather is still flyable. But waiting won't clarify the trend. It will only move the aircraft closer to a point where fewer options remain. The pilot chooses the longer southern route. The decision isn't dramatic. It's made early, while the cost is still measurable and the margins are still wide. The flight arrives later than planned. Fuel reserves remain comfortable. Weather never becomes unsafe. The value of the decision wasn't in avoiding a problem, but in avoiding compression of decisions later. Professional judgment often favors the option that feels inefficient early, but preserves flexibility downstream. At the midpoint of this flight, several choices were still reasonable. If you were in this cockpit, which option would you lean toward and why? Continue direct, take the long way around, or divert early and stop? There's no single correct answer, only trade-offs.